Cancer is a terrible, terrible disease. It's a rotten disease. There's no easy way of saying it's going to be a good trip.
I was diagnosed in 2010 with mouth cancer, and I was devastated.
In 2008, I was diagnosed with cancer of the mouth and neck.
The moment it changed was when the doctor said to me that he was going to refer me to the local hospital because he thought it was cancer.
I'm living proof of the progress this field is making.
I've come a long way. I've come a really, really long way compared to how I was.
What it is down to now is me accepting it and building my life.
This is the road on which I believe progress lies, and this, of course, is why you all are here today.
Straight away, you just think, well, that's it. You know, there's no hope.
I've not remembered the following week. It was information overload. Everybody was throwing questions at me, everyone was throwing information at me.
I became a bit of a recluse to start with. I wouldn't even go out the house.
I became a nurse, which I've never wanted to be a nurse, and I found that quite difficult.
Where do I go from here? I would advise anybody that's going to go through this, who's just been diagnosed, for instance, to seek out help as much as they can.
You will be in places throughout that journey that you think that there is no hope whatsoever, but trust me, there's light at the end of that tunnel. What you've got to do is find that light and hold on to it.
We ventured out, Julie and I, to a supermarket, and this was my first trip to a supermarket since the operation. And they had a little boy there, about 8 or 9 years old, and he kept looking at me. And so I said to his mum, I said, look, I've got a disfigurement. I said, but your little boy keeps looking at me, can I talk to him? So I sort of got down on my haunches and I said to him, are you looking at my face, Sunshine? And he said, yeah. And because of his curiosity, I gave him a little story about how it came about and what it was. And he said, well, how did you get the cancer? And at first I was a bit lost as to what to say, but then I said, well, I believe it's because I used to smoke cigarettes. He says, I'm never going to smoke. I said, sorry, I couldn't hear. And what that little boy said did so much for me, because if nothing else, that little so-and-so ain't going to smoke, he's not going to get cancer. That's how I looked upon it.
Yep.
And bless him, he made me feel so good that day, because I was able to open up to somebody. I know he was only a young lad, probably doesn't fully understand it, but I think I did a bit of good there.
With this room full of men and women like yourselves, devoted to this field, pushing it forward with every case you take and each patient that you treat, we can only imagine what the next century will bring. And short of that, we can look around and we can say that something is working.